I got a divorce from a good guy, and I kind of want to talk about it because I recently got a video on my For You page of a girl talking about her experience divorcing the good guy, and I was like, same. I'm gonna throw my experience into the mix. So, I want to preface by saying queerness was a part of my story, but I can say without a doubt that even if I hadn't figured out that I was queer at like 28, I would have still eventually gotten a divorce from this guy. I know. I think about it and I'm like, there were a lot of other things going on. There were other things at play. And I do know that figuring out that I was queer when I did sped up the process because I was just like, it's all I could think about. And I knew, like, oh, this is a lot bigger of a deal, I feel like, maybe than I've ever put like weight on it. And I have to figure this out. I have to pursue this thing that I've figured out about myself. So I do know that I would have still gotten a divorce from him. And it's tough because obviously me figuring out that I wanted to be with women is really the only reason you need to divorce a guy. I know that there were other things happening that would have eventually led me to getting a divorce. And honestly, I'm glad that it did happen when it did and that we didn't have kids. Like, we had a dog, but we didn't have kids that we had to, like, consider or, like, juggle that aspect of it. So, I guess just the biggest thing, which is probably a pretty obvious component of this all, is just that it's harder to work up to leaving someone who's a good guy, someone who treats you well. Like, we were together for almost 10 years. We met my like second semester of my freshman year of college. And we were together pretty much like from then on, and almost 10 years. When we got a divorce, we had just celebrated our 5-year wedding anniversary. And there was just a lot of things at play with the queer stuff and me figuring that out, but taking like that, I'm going to take that component out of it while it was a big part of it, and just kind of talk through some of the things that I realized and that were a part of just figuring out that, wow, this person who treats me well, who I really love, who is funny and I like being around, and yeah, ultimately treats me well, is a pretty good husband. Just because he is or was a good guy didn't mean that he was right for me or good for me. And I think that makes things just harder for people to build up the courage, for lack of a better word, to leave. Because how do you explain to all your friends and family that you want a divorce from this person that treats you well and who ultimately is a good person? It's a lot easier to be like, fuck this guy, he sucks, like, he treats me terribly, that's why I'm divorcing him. It's a lot easier to say you're leaving someone for that reason. But once again, to our knowledge, we only get one go at this whole thing. So, in my opinion, it's like, why would we not seek out someone who is just kind of perfect for us, honestly? I don't know. I think we all deep down know when something isn't right and when, as hard as it is, like when we should get out of something. Um, so yeah, I think that the queerness thing definitely was a really big part of it, but there was a lot of things about our relationship and things about him that I knew he wasn't going to be able to provide for me to have the relationship that I wanted. And like obviously this is like a selfish way to present it that I'm presenting it, but I think that we all should be trying to be in a relationship that we want to be in because there is someone out there for him. I mean, he's already remarried and all that. So he found it and like thank God for that. Like he has found someone, I can only assume, that is much more like well suited for him, and it would be awesome if we got to remain in each other's lives. That obviously I would have preferred, but that's just like not how it worked out for us, and that's not what he wanted. And as hard as that is, still 5 years later for me to like I would love to know like how he is. I would love to like catch up with him like once or twice a year just to like see how he is, because I liked this person. Like I was with him for a reason. But that doesn't mean that I eventually didn't need to not be with him anymore.
We're gonna stop it right there. I let her cook a lot, plenty of time. So, listen. Number one, I want everybody to be who they need to be who they want to be in this life. Like nobody, like if you want to be what she was, based on her words, if you want to be queer, if you want to be gay, if you want to be with someone of the same sex, please, you know what I'm saying? Do you, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Like if that's how you feel, you want to live your life, hey man, more power to you. And I truly and honestly mean that. So nothing against her if that's what she wants and that's what she prefers, right? The second thing that she kind of brought up was like, we should be able to find someone that's perfect for us. Let me tell you like this. There's no one in this world perfect, right? So you got to figure out when you get with somebody, okay, hey, there's 10 things that I prefer. Can I get 7? Right? I'm probably not going to get 10, but I can probably work them enough to get 8, potentially 9, but no one's going to give you 10 out of 10. It's just not going to happen. No one out there is perfect. So if this guy that you was with for 10 years was hitting on all cylinders, he was a good guy, he was doing what he needed to do for you, but because you said in your own words, hey, I was being selfish, yeah, it was never going to work in the marriage. It takes 2 to tango. You guys are partners. You got to be on the same page and walk in the same mission, walk in the same line. So again, there's nothing wrong with you like, look, I ain't really want to be with bro because this is what I prefer. That's cool. However, going to the third point, right? Bro moved on. He's happy. He's got his new wife, his new life. He's moved on. And what did you say as the content creator, right? I would have preferred if we was able to stay in contact, but that's not what he wants. Exactly. He ain't playing them games with you. You like, oh, I wish I could see him, a couple times a year just to keep in contact. No, you not about to have your cake and eat it too. I'm sorry. You not about to do that. Bro is moving on. He already peep game on how you moving. You want to be, this what should have happened, right? You should have just stayed in the marriage and being honest with him, like, look, this is what I really like. I'll be happy if you let me get a fix or you can join in. You see what I'm saying? So I'm sure he would have worked something out. I'm sure he would have been happy to have 2 women every blue moon. I'm sure, right? However, you didn't want that. You said, hey, I'm selfish. I want it all to myself. He a good guy, still want him too, and I want my cake eaten too. It's not going to happen, lady. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So anyway, hey, shout out to the content creator. If you got any value from this video, hit that like button. If you're first time watching, go ahead and subscribe and then share this video out if somebody else needs to see this topic. But with that, I appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace.